fellow Toastmasters and guests. It was decades in the making. From the 19th century leading into the 20th century, the 4-minute mile stood as an impossible barrier. The barrier itself may as well have been, it was like a parody of the mile itself in measure, until 1954 when Roger Bannister of England ran the mile in 3 minutes and 59.4 seconds. And by doing so, he achieved what was considered insurmountable. You might think that we're about ready to just walk down the path of another inspirational talk designed to share with you a story about man's ability to accomplish a goal. And that'd be all right. But like many inspirational takeaways, I feel that that message might be a little bit fleeting. Instead, why don't we go on a journey together and uncover some truths that will give us some key takeaways and even a tool that will allow us to get whatever we want in our lives whenever we want it. Would that be all right? Fantastic. The story began in 1884 with England's Walter George, who was the fastest man in the world at the time. He was running the mile in 4 minutes and 18 seconds at the time that was screaming fast. And it ended in 1954 with Roger Bannister. And it took 70 years for humans to shave off a mere 18 seconds off that record. 70 years. Why is that? Well, there's a couple reasons. Number one is it was deemed to be impossible and everyone talked that talk. Secondly, doctors even said it was not a good idea. You'll die trying and your heart may explode out of your chest. So there was many reasons why people did not believe it was possible. You might die. That's a pretty big reason not to try it. But here's the thing. It only took 6 weeks after Bannister to break that record for the next human being to do the same. Australian's John Landy ran the mile in 3 minutes and 57 seconds just 6 weeks after. Within the next 2 years, almost 350 runners across the world did the same thing. So what gives? What's the reason for that? Well, here's the thing. This is a testament to the idea that we are really seeing as believing creatures. And it took another man to do it for the running community to believe it was possible. So it's really a matter of belief. But there's something underneath that. There's an underpinning truth to it all. And it really comes down to the questions we ask. You see, Bannister was asking different questions. He wasn't asking, why can't we do this? And he wasn't even asking, how can I get a slightly better time? Or how can I run a little bit faster? He was asking more powerful, focused questions, such as, how do I specifically need to train in order to beat the 4-minute barrier? And who do I need to become in order to break this barrier? Who do I need to become? That's the kind of question that causes one's reticular activator to stand up and pay attention. For those of you not familiar with the reticular activator, otherwise known as the RAS, it's the seat of the subconscious mind. It's the part of the brain, it rests right near the brainstem, and its primary function is to filter, to allow in information that it deems to be important, and filter out all the data that it deems to be unimportant. And it knows what's important by what we focus on the most. And then it delivers to us the evidence of those beliefs. The more evidence, the stronger our beliefs. The more we believe, the more it impacts our self-talk. The more self-talk, the more action we take. The more action we take, the better results we get, and round and round and round it goes. That's how the RAS works. See, Bannister had focus, beating the 4-minute mile. And the answer to the question, which is, who do I need to become? For him was a superhuman man. A man who knows no barriers. A man who keeps on going when my body tells me to stop. A lightning fast man. And how does one become superhuman? By focusing and visualizing oneself as superhuman. And he actually visualized himself crossing the finish line in under 4 minutes. And in that way, his body became his mind. His body followed his mind. Because he knew that if he could see it in his mind, he could hold it in his hand. And it all began with asking powerful questions. You see, getting what we want in life is better achieved by asking better questions, empowering questions. How do I need to show up today in order to accomplish blank? Is a big, powerful, empowering question. When we ask bigger and better questions, we get bigger and better answers. Who do I need to become is empowering. Why the heck is this happening to me is disempowering. Ask better questions and our subconscious mind will go into overdrive in pursuit of better answers and will deliver to us the solution, the method, or the materials needed for us to accomplish our goals, dreams, and our missions. Ladies and gentlemen, with questions, we get what we ask for. And by asking the right questions, it keeps us focused on the solution rather than the problem. Therefore, I challenge you to look at the questions you're asking yourself and those you wish to influence each and every day. Are you asking big, empowering questions, or small, disempowering questions, or worse yet, no questions at all? Can you imagine starting your day by asking these 3 questions? How can I grow? How can I give? And how can I celebrate? You think you might get better answers by asking those questions than by waking up and asking, how can I get through this day? I think we would. Because the former focuses on growth and contribution and gratitude, and the latter focuses on just getting by. So what would you rather focus on and attract the evidence of in your life? I think we all know the answer to that. Because with questions, we get what we ask for. And with this, I'll leave you with 2 parting questions. What's your 4-minute mile? And what empowering questions are you asking yourself that allow you to break down its barriers? Thank you.
Our timer today is Sydney. So could you put 90 seconds on the clock? We have half sheets of evaluation forms, so if you'd like to write some comments down for Kevin on one of the forms, that would be great. We are also